Forming a continuous chain of highlands along the western coast of South America is the Andes, the longest mountain range in the world. This vast area is home to many types of climates, landscapes, plants and animals. The people who live here are equally diverse. The Andean system of river basins provides an economic and ecological backbone to these communities, spread across several countries. The basin covers not one but several rivers and catchments.
We have abundant water in some of the Colombian basins and very arid in Peru and in Bolivia. So it's a large variability in climate, geography. Even within a single basin there might be large differences in culture and way of thinking.
We are visiting the Fuquene Basin in Colombia, located about 100 kilometers north of the capital, Bogotá. This is a wetland with a high biodiversity. Lake Fuquene receives most of its water from the Paramo, a neotropical ecosystem found in the high Andes. Endemic plants here absorb and preserve precious soil moisture. Unfortunately, this wetland has more than its share of problems. People have to cope with water scarcities, land degradation, water pollution and loss of topsoil. Here, the CGIAR Challenge Programme on Water and Food is supporting research that will find ways to reduce poverty and improve people's lives.
This project started with an intensive effort to identify who those people were who were dependent on water, and then to work with them to identify what their major concerns were and to build their capacities to be able to interact with the other stakeholders and with the organizations and the government entities.
To complicate matters, Lake Fuquene has been shrinking in size for 20 years. This is mainly due to farmers reclaiming the lake's edgewaters to extend grazing land for their cattle. With animal droppings getting washed off into the lake, the water is polluted. It directly affects those who fish in the lake, but few people living and working in the basin realize these implications. Each one thinks only in terms of his or her own land, cattle and survival.
There are a lot of people who are affected. It's not just one group, which shows how important watershed management is, but it's also a challenge when you're trying to take action, because you're often, the people who are affected are different people who don't necessarily know each other and don't have any way to work together.
Local non-governmental organizations are working with Fuquene Lake communities, trying to show everyone how things are closely interlinked. They are making some progress.
Se ha venido bajando la pesca. ¿Y usted sabe por qué? Sí, por la contaminación. Pues sí, hemos llegado a trabajar ya con la parte alta.
The current systems of land and water management are not able to cope. So in this conversatorio gathering, water users are discussing better ways to balance the various interests.
One of the key aspects is that the project is empowering people to bring people together. So people are being joined together, empowered. They know now the legislation, and one of the aspects of this particular legislation is that the Paramo be protected. So they want to ask the authorities to enforce this regulation that is already in place.
This kind of empowerment takes time and effort. Slowly but surely, the results are showing.
Del proyecto hemos aprendido bastante, hemos aprendido a hacer, por decir algo, derechos de petición. Hemos aprendido a leer la Constitución Política de Colombia, que no la habíamos tenido esa oportunidad de leerla. Hemos aprendido a convivir más con las personas.
New knowledge and understanding are helping these communities to be better stewards of their environment and more considerate neighbors to each other.